Okay, so here is dream journal number one. And just before I start, sorry for the bad gameplay. I'm abroad, so yeah, the Wi-Fi is pretty bad. So let's just start. So basically, I was walking to my flat, and my flat's basically on the third floor. And for some reason, on the third floor, now usually there's no one in these stairway. But for some reason, on the third floor, there was like a crowd, like a mob of people. I'd say maybe 9, 10, 11 people, maybe. And they were all like, sort of like a gang. They were all like laughing, joking around right outside of my door. So I basically tripped over just as I was putting my key into the door, and they were like right behind me. They weren't like following me or anything, they were just there like messing around, probably like graffitiing, I don't know, whatever. And as I tripped over, they all started laughing at me. So what I did in my dream, it's a bit weird. I grabbed one of the guys that was pointing and laughing at me, took him inside my flat, and I managed to rip off his head and kill him without anyone seeing. And then I chucked his head into the crowd of people, and they were like, "Oh my god, my friend, he's dead." And obviously, like a few minutes later, the police were called. Now, for some reason, my family wasn't my actual family in the dream. It was the family from Shameless, the US version. So my older sister was Fiona. My older brother was what's his name, Lip. And yeah, so basically Lip was there, and he was like, Leo, calm down. And I was like, oh my god, the world is so horrible. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to life in jail. My life's never gonna be the same. I was basically like, I can't let these guys, these police, if there are police coming, I can't let them arrest me because that's my life gone. And then obviously police showed up because I just killed someone, and I ripped off his head in front of everyone. So obviously police gonna show up. They kind of tried to detain me, but what I did is I ran through my flat away from the police, jumped out of my balcony onto a bush, 3 stories high, onto a bush. Climbed out that bush, legged it to a river. In real life the river's nearby my house, but like maybe literally 10 seconds walk from my house. But in this dream it felt like forever. I was running for like 2 minutes to get to this river. And I got to the river and I just legged it. No. So Lip started speaking to me before I jumped over the river, and he was like, he was like, alright, just calm down. You're not gonna do anything. Like, Lip was already in handcuffs, but he was kind of like speaking to me. The police woman was right next to Lip, and she was trying to arrest me, but Lip was like, no, arrest him after I got this right now. Because Lip was in handcuffs because he was like, throwing punches at the crowd or whatever, because they were laughing. And yeah, pretty weird as I just said. Anyway, and I was like, Lip, bye. And I just legged it. I jumped over the river in one jump. I jumped over this river. It's quite a big river, mind you, like quite thick. No human would be able to jump over this river in real life. But in the dream, I jumped over the river, I legged it, and I got to this like field. Now I know what field I got to in real life, but it's not really the same as in the dream because there was this closed off capsule. And now for some reason in this dream, whenever I touched an animal, I always got teleported back to the house. Don't ask me why, but I got teleported back to the crime scene. Where the police were. And obviously I couldn't let the police get to me. So I tried to avoid all animals. I don't know how I knew if I hit an animal I would get teleported back, but I tried to avoid all the animals. As I was running away from the police, there was this little girl with a Nerf gun. And I knew if she touched me, because technically, humans are animals, if she touched me I would get teleported back to where the police are. And she had a Nerf gun. She was like shooting at me with the Nerf gun. So I just ran away from her. What I did is I hopped over this fence into this small enclosure, no bigger than like I would say a small living room. And there was like this fence, there was maybe a grassy patch, kind of like trees in there. It wasn't, maybe 1 or 2 trees in this grassy patch. And there was a baby rabbit and a fox. And I wanted to stroke it, but I couldn't because I knew if I did, I would get caught by the police because I would get teleported back. Anyway, I have Fiona on the phone, and I was like, I just recall saying to Fiona like, I'm gonna miss you and stuff like that. And all I remember is the fox climbed onto my foot, and I was like, oh my god, if this fox touches me, I'm arrested. So I like tried to wriggle it off. I kicked it off, and then the girl came again, and I was like, go, go away. I didn't want to touch me, because if she like, she was only about 5, so she was quite fast. But I feel like if I was in this enclosure, she could easily just run up and like grab me, like, anything. They could be like, oh, tag, you're it, and I would just be teleported back to the police. So I tried to like get her away. And then as I was like telling her off to go away, I looked down and the fox was on my leg. Like it had touched my skin. So I got teleported back, and then I woke up. And yeah, that's basically the end of this dream. That's dream number 1 on the 2nd of August 2022. Thanks for listening.